All right. Hello, hello. The game's not picking up. It doesn't seem like it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Welcome to Palais Mermonia.
Seems like we are good. And we can check him out. What happened? Last time we saw what happened to... What's her name? Farina? Now we gotta see what our dragon doing. And check him out. And then maybe after that I will play Robocop. Because I gotta finish that game as well. It's pretty interesting. It's super arcadey. Robocop. I tried to develop some of my characters, but god. It was such a chore, so I just quit halfway. Not to mention I ran out of books too. I don't want to use my resin to get books. It's the waste of my time. Where is it? Story. You guys hear the crackers behind me? Let me know if you do. I'm not sure I can stop it, but again, I can't acknowledge it is happening. Yeah. Oh, that's a loud one. Yeah, it's festive season, so you gotta hear that a lot. Continue. Guys, do you think Neuvillette gave Farina her revision? I don't know how much authority dragons have over them, but it would be hilarious if he did. Let's see it. Is the game so loud? Let me know if the game sound is too loud. And it feels like it is. Especially with that violin and everything. Yeah. Uh-oh, this thing is not even talking. Oh, did I hear that right? No, yes, here. Neuvillette. Are you sure you like to take over this case
That's right.
yourself? Okay. But why? You're speaking in the case of the grades.
Neuvillette! Sabine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Private detective.
Thank you for your concern, but I currently have no such plans.
Ooh.
Oh, apologies. I took your question in earnest, but it now occurs to me that it was most likely in jest.
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's something you've got to investigate personally.
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired at this stage.
Huh?
I did an advanced in the trials today. If you insist, I have no objections. Okay. So he wants to do something on his free time. Let him
Thank you
do
for
it.
understanding.
This guy doesn't look he gotten the power of dragons at all. He looks exactly the same.
Judging from Shadine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
Yeah. I
Can't
kinda
tell
expected
you
him to
just
be
yet,
lighting up
but it
like a
reminded
Christmas
me of
tree all the
certain
time.
past events. There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Hmm.
Come on, stop being so secretive. We still have no idea what's going on.
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts. Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the Iudex of Fontaine and initiated a series of institutional reforms. There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them.
Oh, they're dead. Alright.
The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest.
Oh.
Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines.
Ooh. That sucks a dick. I mean, at this point, he shouldn't even be concerned because unless he got poisoned or something or stabbed in the back, he's not dying anytime soon. Dude's basically a god at this range. Yeah. Concerned about your properties, Rieta. Seems like they are using millions
All
against you.
Melusines
Okay.
used to live a secluded life away from human society. I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine.
Hmm.
Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me. Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the innocent. It has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating? There's the guards, the Marechaussee Phantom, and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Aren't they more than enough to figure out what's going on?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me do not belong to the same department. The political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally took on the case.
Outsider?
Chief Justice of Fontaine. We would be an
I
outsider,
understand
yeah.
where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself.
Ooh, that's how he thinks. Okay, okay. I don't know, man. You've been here for 500 years. Probably you do have a green card at this range.
You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations.
Ooh, Hydro Dragons. Others of your kind? Who is it? Devolan? He doesn't turn into a
Even
dude,
though I
though.
was born with a human form, there is a
Oh.
fundamental difference between dragons and humans.
Oh! So he born in human form. Okay, okay, that makes sense. That is so hard. Why did he born in the human form?
Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. In fact, the status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider, a fish out of water.
Hmm. Why it just completely goes mute sometimes? But even
That does
Paimon
not
doesn't
sound
talk
like a bad
anymore.
idea. I rarely investigate cases on my own, but with professionals like you around, I'm sure it will go a lot smoother.
Is it a bug?
Let us go. We should
Yeah,
visit
Paimon went to
Kiara
Kaput.
first and try to gain a better understanding of the situation.
Hmm. Skewed perspective in a lot of things, true. He's basically the leader of the Fontaines. And then he thinks he doesn't belong there.
Thinking. You
GG.
called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Thank you for your suggestion. I will consider using the more accurate term in private occasions. Please allow me to rephrase. Has a dragon out of water?
Ugh. That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
Yeah. I don't even know how to build a Dia. Is she a DPS or a support or a freaking useless? I hear the people say she is useless. And then there is one guy who made me to build her. So I kind of wasted most of my stuff on that person. Hey, it's not like I'm doing the Spiral Abyss. I will probably die in like stage 3. Most likely.
The weather's amazing today.
Kiara,
Huh? Monsieur Neuvillette! And you are? Oh, I remember. You're the Traveler and Paimon. I've heard about you. Aw, she's adorable! Hey there, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember now. The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. It said something about catching me, so I thought someone wanted to play hide and seek. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen with everyone looking after me, right?
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious? Ah! Did you think of something? Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Why is that off?
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it says.
Oh, let's see. Found it.
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. Don't say I didn't warn you. A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writer's intentions.
Hmm.
We can't rule out that possibility. Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais Mermonia to review some official documents. Kiara, you should come with us. It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure! Wait, no. I still have a case to work on. I promised Alof that I'd check on her place later.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about it.
Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon.
Don't worry, your big sis Paimon is super strong.
All right, let us go our separate ways for now. Please take care of Kiara.
We'll take her to a lost place right away. See you around.
Yeah, I can see why he is concerned about these people.
Kiara, how old are
Jesus.
you?
Let me think. 1, 2, 10? I can't remember.
Yep. Probably she's like 500 years old, but damn. He has a freaking brain of a 3-year-old.
We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss.
But I remember coming to the Court of Fontaine with Carol and Neuvillette. That must have been a long time ago.
Carol? Didn't Neuvillette mention her just now? That was more than 400 years ago. Why would Paimon be a big sister to you?
My memory isn't that good. But Carol told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more grown up than me, so you're a big sis.
Huh. Paimon sees. Hey, Traveler, did you hear that?
What do you hear that? God, she's slow. I think that's Charlotte. It's so
Strange.
Charlotte.
Paimon felt like someone was following us.
Yeah, it's her.
Olaf!
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two?
Oh, they're the Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
I thought so. What brings you here? Did you run into any trouble?
It's not really trouble anymore with us around.
May I begin inspecting the store as planned?
Of course. Go ahead.
No hazards detected. You've cleared the inspection. Seems like the criminal from that case last month never set foot in here at all.
That was quick. What were you inspecting?
I took a look around the shop. Neuvillette says that us Melazines have special eyes that can see things people can't. Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melazines can see their residual stains for some time. Pretty cool, huh?
All right. Now that you're done inspecting, can we have a chat? Hear me out. I'm planning to release an outfit for children next month and wanted to hire you as my model. Is that okay with you?
Of course! Is there anything I need to do?
Please wait a moment while I take your measurements. This sample should be a perfect fit.
Seems like they get along really well.
Hmm.
Huh? What are you looking at? Is there really someone watching us? Shh! Let's sneak over and take a look.
I am 100% sure it's that newspaper chick. Yeah, there it is.
Strange. Why isn't he back yet?
Gotcha! Charlotte, what are you doing here? Oh, wait, don't tell
Oh,
Paimon you're the one who
my
sent
microphone
Kiara that
picks it pretty
threatening
bad.
letter. But you don't seem like the type to...
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only wanted to follow Monsieur Neuvillette and request an interview with him.
You want to interview him?
That's right. I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is every journalist's dream. But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us, and we never have the chance to interrupt when the court's in session. So imagine how surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. The perfect opportunity to whip up an exclusive, don't you think? Of course, I'll make sure to turn in my manuscript to him for review. I have my principles, and I'd never publish an article without the consent of all parties involved.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now. Oh, what a shame. Chances like this don't come by very often, you know. In exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
All right then.
What? Someone's targeting a cute little Melazine?
Shh, not so loud.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. Last month, in fact. It was well received by our readers, so I was planning to continue the series. And now someone's coming after her. I'll ask my colleagues about it. Who knows? We might find something. Oh, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. The secret's safe with me. But I gotta warn you, even if I keep my lips sealed, others will know eventually.
Hmm.
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvillette's each and every move. Some may have already realized that something was up. Besides, the case involves Melazines, so... Anyway, I'll get going now. Watch yourselves, all right?
Well, that was a nice chat. Let's head back and check on Kiara.
Oh,
What do you think? The design looks pretty good, huh?
I think it's great!
Huh. It's very pretty indeed.
Haran! What are you doing here? It seems that you just showed up out of nowhere.
does
As I
Colorado
passed by
has
the
a
Palais
vision?
Mermonia, I heard
Oh,
that
she
Neuvillette
does. I
was
think it's
investigating a
she's
case with
lightning.
you.
Yeah, that's over there.
Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. It didn't feel right to have my employer personally take on such trivial cases. I happened to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look.
Hmm.
I sometimes have my clothes custom-made at this boutique, in any case, so we always have a lot to talk about.
Ah, Neuvillette sure is lucky to have someone like you.
Leave this to me. You should go meet up with Neuvillette.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands. Come on, let's go find Neuvillette.
Yeah, where is he? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, today at like 12 p.m., like in how many hours? 5 hours. It's gonna be even worse because that's the actual Diwali. GG. People are gonna go ham on with their firecrackers.
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
We ran into Cloran. She offered to help us protect Kiara.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities. It looks like Kiara is in good hands.
We thought so too. Well, did you find any leads?
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major cases I've judged over the past decade. I've come up with 2 plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflicting interests of these major cases and confirm my suspicions if there is indeed a mysterious group that bears a grudge against me.
They both sound like pretty solid plans. Can you really finish browsing through all these documents? That's a lot of reading even for Paimon.
Don't worry. I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents. After all, I have several hundred years of reviewing under my belt.
Well, you read through them. We have nothing else to do.
Thank you. I will continue looking through the ones piled up on the desk, but feel free to browse through anything else in this room.
Yeah, I'm sleepy as hell. Damn. I've been sleeping for like 9 hours now. I'm still feeling sleepy. They really scuffed on this one, didn't they? Now they are not even speaking. Is this how this is, or is my game is fucked up? Oh, hello, Hugumi. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Inside the glasses, it looks like just water. Is he drinking synth? Yeah, we are kind of having a mute conversation here. There is no sound whatsoever. I'm good, how are you? I'm doing good. Kind of sleepy though. Right now, the water. For something. Happy Diwali. Oh, happy advance Diwali. I think you can hear the crackers blowing up behind, right? Yeah, my microphone picks it up pretty hard. Uh, hmm. Yeah, since he is a water dragon, he kinda likes water. GG. Seems like we are getting the short end of the stick. Yeah, I think she's gonna say it's feeling the same. Any difference at all? Isn't it just normal water? Yep. Repeating your tastes. Come on. This guy wants us to know about tastes in water. Who cares? Why would you want to become Chief Justice of Human Society? Nice. To seek out answers for the questions that perplex me. What is it? The one question concerns my own existence. Oh, okay. Neither I know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand where my life should take me. With regard to primordial sea, relation to me. Hmm. Hmm. Why this place, this whole story is not voice acted at all. which is stupid. Why would you do that? This is an important story of this guy. It's completely non-voice acted. I'm just reading the text. Well, the topic of water, another idea came to me. Okay. What do you mean? Fountain of Lucine? Hmm. So this was Duke. Bruce Lee, I think this was Duke, right? He confessed to his crimes. What did he do? Exiled to Fortress of Merapid, serving his sentence. During the trial, Neuvillette remained silent for a long time. Okay. So, what are your plans for Diwali? Diwali? I think. Yeah, in English it's Diwali, and in Tamil it's Diwali, right? So it's a little bit different. Oh,
Monsieur Neuvillette? I probably shouldn't disturb them.
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do next? Oh, Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few steps back and keep a safe distance.
A safe distance? Neuvillette, what exactly are you... Whoa, it's glowing!
flashbang! Wherever dizziness washes over you. Okay. Yeah, I have one gripe with this game. They should remove this full white screen flashbang completely and make it dark. Honkai Star Rail did that. They are smart for doing that in that game. They should remove this bullshit in this game too. It's so AIDS. Especially when you're trying to play it nighttime, it loads for a long time, right? It's a completely white screen and it just messes with your head. It's almost blinding.
Thank you for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvillette. The Court of Fontaine is truly incredible. There's so many things I've never seen or heard before.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaussée Phantom. I'm certain you'll become an indispensable part of Fontaine's detective force.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of help. Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, It feels like my life has become a lot more meaningful.
But a meaningful life also comes with its risks.
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village. But I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this world. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel the same way. I too came here for an answer to my questions about my own existence.
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village. It hurt a lot when they hit me in the head, and I tried really hard not to cry.
Logically
Jesus.
speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. It will be a difficult road ahead, with countless obstacles to overcome. Different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. Removing it will be no easy feat. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because just like you, I haven't fully integrated into this society. Despite my social status, I am still an outsider.
Mm.
I see. Let's all do our best then. I'm confident that we'll find the meaning of our existence one day.
I believe in you, but you shouldn't lose sight of the difficulties ahead. If you run into any trouble, I suggest that you inform Vautrin, the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Huh? Is he the person I met?
I don't know,
in
man.
Harmonia
Being
earlier?
racist has gotten
Yes.
outdated.
Do you
Find
have any
something else to be
concerns?
mad at.
That stone-faced
I've
human.
been doing it for the
He
past
didn't even
5,000
bother to look
years.
at me when I tried
Ah.
talking to him. It felt like he wasn't interested in anything but work.
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work together in the future, so please try to get along.
I don't know why people are mad and get mad at that one. That thing doesn't look threatening at all. It looks fine. I don't care. As long as it speaks and it's smarter, I don't care how it looks.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Hmm.
Thanks, but no need.
Oh,
Racist. Oh, what like this? Why this story is depressing.
is there anything you need help with?
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards.
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any harm.
Hard to say.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized? Strange incidents have been increasing ever since they came.
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Neuvillette allowed them into the court of Fontaine just like that.
Exactly. That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well. I swear, there's some hidden agenda at play here.
Go away! Quit acting innocent!
I'm not leaving.
Oh my
I won't
god.
let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the Maréchaussée Phantom and solved lots and lots of cases. We've never done anything wrong.
Solving cases? With Neuvillette in cahoots with you. You could have fabricated it all, and no one would know. So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melazines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Hmm.
Didn't I tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Vautrin?
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Maréchaussée Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently. perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy, and I understand your concern. However, there's been no evidence pointing towards Melusines being involved.
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side. Neuvillette's newly reformed police force is already corrupt to the core.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Well, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
One of them doesn't have to be a dick.
I don't understand.
You know?
Why won't anyone believe
Not that
us?
hard.
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around you.
Born
There are
from
countless
calamity?
negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible for you to become a part of this society. Best if you give up before it's too late.
Monsieur Neuvillette said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take, but I can at least try making my best effort. I still want to try a little harder. Thank you for bailing me out earlier.
Wait, is that the same person who just...
I won't be taking any more of your time.
Is she
I've been to
dead?
a lot of
I think
flying
she's
clubs,
dead.
So I have to stay and hand them out to everyone.
Give them to me.
You're not gonna take them away, right?
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
Hmm.
Monsieur Neuvillette, what's this?
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin. Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping Melusines gain the trust of humans.
Hmm.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melusines begin living peacefully with the humans. Just the thought of it makes me happy.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
Hmm.
You blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could undermine the hard work you've put in. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Okay, how she dies, I wanna know.
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Neuvillette, even with all our powers combined. What if...
Nah, not gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take us out personally. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. Unless he wants to become an enemy of Fontaine. So
Man,
quit
he
worrying
should-
and just go ahead with it.
He should go kamikaze like
Once we lay
Devolin.
the blame on the Melusines as the person who
Devolin
brought you to the
didn't
court
give
of
a shit.
Fontaine, Neuvillette will be left with no excuse.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come to this. But he's forced our hand. Time to teach him a lesson.
Yeah. This random boss is gonna teach the freaking Hydro Dragon a lesson. Ooh.
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Neuvillette too!
Oh, she's getting mugged.
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke. Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
Yeah, the first time I saw them, my reaction was, oh my god, they're cool. You know? That's how I felt. These guys are
The results of
weirdos.
the investigation are in, Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime, whose interests have been undermined by the reform. They tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvillette confess to his mistakes and yield up power. The guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carroll chose to sacrifice herself to pacify the situation.
Oh shit.
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth? She didn't have to prove her innocence like that.
Wait, what happened? Oops, I kinda missed out that one.
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards. Miss Carroll might have thought there was no better plan.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to... Wait, are you planning to...
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young. She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. People like her are the most vulnerable to deception and betrayal. From the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. Because I too began working towards that pie-in-the-sky dream of hers. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvillette. They even avoided causing trouble for me. They were after Carol all along. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind. Only through bloodshed can their debt be repaid.
Oh, he's gonna go murder them. Let's go. I wanna know what exactly happened. I missed a bit of it. What's the story? Genshin. Neuvillette. I wanna know why she died. Oh, skills, not skills, story, damn. What the hell? Is this it?
Distinct difference.
Oh god.
Court of Fontaine is true. Leading to this world.
Into this.
Responsible for investigating cases as well.
Let's newly...
Right.
Monsieur Neuvillette said that we needed to put both...
The faster we get this done.
Your dedication.
Just go ahead with it.
But reasonable inference...
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime.
Go on.
The situation are supporters of the old regime, whose interests have been undermined by the reform. They tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvillette confess to his mistakes and yield up power. The guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carroll chose to sacrifice herself to pacify the situation.
And she called me a blockhead.
Oh, I think I got it. So he reformed the whole investigation, right? So the people who got fired got mad, and then they framed the furry and got her killed, basically. By the looks of it.
Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime.
Yeah, the old regime means I think that's the previous people who walked under it.
Undermined by the reform.
Yeah.
They tricked Miss Carroll into going.
Yep, pretty much. And then this guy goes kamikaze after that.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette wouldn't accept that as a solution.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. What happens after this?
Oh, hello, hello, Loki.
To do with any of you.
Welcome to the stream. How's it going?
I will take responsibility for everything.
You are really loving this game. I'm just gonna do you the story. Story is quite interesting. But the game is pay to win though. Not pay to win, it's kind of grindy as hell. I don't want to grind. I've been playing this game for quite a while. I'm like A or 50. I think probably around 6 or 7 months. And then I quit after that because the patch comes a very
You're
long
hearing a
time.
major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carol and settled the score with the group that framed his
You
friend.
didn't again. True.
Hey, why aren't you saying anything?
I'm thinking we should try our best to bail him out when the trial commences.
Bail him out? Why?
Cute. Yeah, I kinda got it.
Shh, keep it down. Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carol are Neuvillette's most trusted subordinates. After everything that happened to Carol, Neuvillette's guaranteed to do everything he can to keep Vautrin around. Besides, now that the old regime has been uprooted, Neuvillette's status is secure as can be. As long as we redirect public opinion, Neuvillette will be able to give Vautrin a reprieve. The benefits are endless.
Vautrin sought vengeance for his friend for a valid cause. This represents the justice he upholds. Please think about it. If the same thing had happened to you, wouldn't you feel the same way he did? Yeah, that's right!
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol. How could Vautrin be declared guilty for seeking revenge?
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent!
I don't think so.
He's innocent!
Oh. Even the judge mission kind of sided with him. Okay.
I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, your revenge could be seen as a form of justice. I understand your decision, which is why I cannot help but feel regret and even grief about the judgment I must now impose. Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions. Your actions have thus violated the law. Therefore, you will be declared guilty.
What?
That can't be! Monsieur Neuvillette, please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Vautrin, my friend, is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvillette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Why can't you just let me off? Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
You kinda gotten mad over that.
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vautrin. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vautrin will be declared guilty.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvillette.
This all happened because of Carol's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
Hey, stop spacing out! What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me. I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it still caused the emotions within the Fountain of Lucine to boil over.
Ooh, who's that?
Due to my negligence,
The cute
the
emote.
overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well. Are you all right?
Wow, the Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought. Anyways, the last time we came here, the
I'm
dragon
doing good. What about you?
voices from the Fountain of Lucine. No emotions boiling over or anything.
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only
nice,
the fountain.
nice.
I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine. Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
That sounds awesome!
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. As an outsider, having my mind occupied with irrelevant memories isn't exactly a pleasant experience. Which ones? It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not mean I am deliberately hiding them. It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that form. You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this. These two cases are much too similar. I felt like I needed to do something.
Paimon's starting to lose track of what you're saying. Don't leave Paimon out of the conversation. Paimon wants to help too.
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered something strange. I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions. I don't know what caused this to happen, but it seems like there won't be a shortcut to finding the organization that may be pulling the strings here. However, I did find some resentment directed towards Chiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be related to a smuggling case.
What is happening with the cutscene and the subtitle? The thing he said and the lines here doesn't match. This is weird.
Oh, didn't we read about that in one of the documents?
You've read about it? In that case, the resentment should have come from that incident.
Oh.
Huh? What are you doing here?
Oh.
I was just about to look for you at the Palais Mermonia.
Navia, nice to see you again. Is there something we can help with?
1 month, 14 days. Nice. 22 hours. Neat, neat.
heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Don't worry. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case. So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately. Maybe you'll find the suspects among them.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless eyes watching you. You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information, then it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letter spread all across Fontaine.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed. I did not expect that this could be kept hidden for too long, but the rumors still spread faster than I imagined.
You know, it could be because you attract more attention than you think. Anyway, any progress with the investigation?
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact another party behind all this. We are planning to return to the Palais Marmonia to revisit some details and identify the senders of that threatening letter.
All right, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow up on their progress. Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Neuvillette, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. As a matter of fact, once the word gets out, no one would dare to harm Kiara in broad daylight. What is more important is how the case is perceived by the public.
Jesus,
400
that's so
years ago,
loud.
they chose to side with the old regime and direct their resentment towards the Melusines. I hope the same won't happen again. Let us head back to the Palais.
Strange. What are these people doing out on the streets so late at night? Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melusine. This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
What? That's it! Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
Uh-oh.
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of hiding will keep us from finding them.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. The guards have already begun to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons, report them to the guards
Happy
immediately.
Diwali. Happy Diwali. I will. Thank you, thank you.
It feels
You
like
too.
you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
We were informed that.
Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
This isn't
Nice,
a good
nice.
time to be out and about.
Come on.
Oh.
Don't act tough. I bet you're hungry too.
All right, let's go buy a cake or something.
You shouldn't ever skip meals, especially if you have another shift scheduled for later.
I heard even Neuvillette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Neuvillette wasn't involved?
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted by regret for the rest of my life.
That's more like it. We should stand guard until the criminal has been caught.
Come and fight me instead, you cowards!
Have you heard? Even the Special Patrol came to help.
Shh, look. Isn't that Neuvillette? I think he's looking at us.
Looks like there's
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over and say hi?
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Mermonia. The faster we uncover the truth, the better.
There we go. Got him.
The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Maréchaussée Phantom. This is the one. The list of involved suspects should be... Ah, found it.
Who are they?
What does it say?
Let's get their asses.
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide following trial. Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders but who did not participate in the case will not stand trial. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
So many names. Is the one who sent that threatening letter to Kiara on the list?
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin, to be precise. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina Durasula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting at the cafe."
How did Navia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head over and take a look.
Uh-oh. I think I have to do a side quest. Fine, I'll do it. Okay, who is following me? Oh,
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
That is so bullshit. This guy is a steal character.
We got this!
He just lied through the feet. Yeah, maybe he is not a good fighter.
Nowhere to hide.
But I did. There we go.
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else. Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who? You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Yerma? Who is that? Commits. Jump off the cliff. Man, I really have to get some good characters. Jesus. The only best DPS I have is Kitching. And she is not a... She is A. She is B tier or something.
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And why are you doing this?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word. Trust me.
We still are about the Phantom Weasel.
How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Cendre. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since. I also know that the Fleuve Cendre is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're serious about going there, please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. Alright. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Why do you speak like she's a robot? Maybe she's a robot or she's weird. Can I do the main story now? Alright, gotta go. Okay, take care, be safe, and have a good day. See you later. Bye bye. Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right
Thank you,
nearby.
thank you.
Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance.
Thank you
Let's
for the
shift them
bits.
away first.
Thank you, thank you.
There we go. It should
Thank
be
you,
just
Lucky.
down here.
Okay, what? Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Do I have to do combat? Huh? Here goes nothing. Oh, it gave me the trial version. Okay, okay. There is like this weird hitch when I move my character. Did you guys notice that? Like a little bit of hitch. I think it's got to do with the power setting.
So long as the audience thinks that seeing is believing, there's no limit to the number of tricks I can pull off.
What do I do here? Oh.
So this was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
What am I supposed to do? Oh. Okay. That was weird.
Now disappear!
Spring forth! Incoming!
Oh, I'm getting nasty.
Whoa. Look. The doll in the box is glowing.
Oh, they are flying around. Oh god.
There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look.
Okay. Does it want me to do something? That was weird.
These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Did I got him?
Got it. We're supposed to find the box that lit up at the start, right? There should be another wish list inside. Let's keep trying.
Okay. I think I got it. Oh, it just opened. Alright.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere. Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... and... presto!
A secret passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna say that.
Inside. Let's head in and take a look around.
At least it's not I'm a watch mechanic, you know? Oh boy.
Propagate! Speed of light! With sword comes shadow.
Oh, that thing just thrown.
Let's get it on.
Incoming.
Did I kill it? I think I did. Man, the damage this thing do. That's half of my HP over there.
Speed of light. Don't blink.
Cut to the chase.
Speed of light. Why have you stopped, Lenny? Is there some device in that box?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right, see you in a bit.
I need a freaking healer. Shit. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, I don't think I totally didn't got it. Yeah. God damn it. What if this is gonna be, if it works, this is stupid.
Don't blink.
Oh my god, it worked. What? Oh, it didn't work. Okay, okay, fair. I thought it's gonna work. Oops. Following for 1 month, 18 days. Nice, guys.
Speed of light.
Yeah, that's a done.
like we can't step on the same tile twice. Guess we've got to finish it in one run, huh?
What? I didn't step on that. What the hell?
Don't blink.
Yep. This is gonna take a while. I am not good with puzzles whatsoever.
I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it.
What shit? I did it perfectly. What? It didn't work. Yeah, what the fuck? I did that last time. That thing didn't work.
There's a hidden room here!
Hey, this guy is pretty good. I think he is the freaking Phantom Weasel.
Full of Caesar's own notes. He wrote a lot about the principles of magic. Whew. Much too advanced for Paimon. Hey, look! Is that Caesar's diary on the table?
Yep.
This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer. Enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted. Boy, are my legs sore.
Yeah, he sounds like a nice
Wound
guy.
up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat?
Ooh. Is he gonna use a magic pocket?
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. I do hope they got home safely. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these 2. I told them that learning magic is very hard work. That didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. And they seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down. It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those two children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan.
Is Phantom with the results,
They
you know?
wanted to call me master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed.
Sounds like a nice
It's nearly
guy.
time for me to go on tour. I asked the two kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. I guess we'll be parting ways soon.
Holy shit!
It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. They're not like other children. It's a shame that I can't do more to help them.
Very interesting. I might continue the story.
I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods. And that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other. I bet they've already forgotten every word I said.
I don't think he did.
Caesar. Just mind your own business next time.
Magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh?
That sounds awfully familiar.
Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny and Lynette, don't you think?
Yep.
So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Linny.
I don't know why they are calling a woman father. It makes no sense. I would say maybe the mother would be even weird. I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Linny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed.
What?
First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then what?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh?
He's gonna do it.
Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it. Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trap door onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional degree of showmanship. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter of a mesmerizing magic trick. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician. But unfortunately, even he didn't manage to pull it off.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay. Nothing suspicious there.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed. Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation at hand. But a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will so as to avoid arousing their suspicion. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left. Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't there. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was due to his own error.
When in reality, someone switched the boxes, and they did it to murder him. How would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult to pull off, no?
How
It
did
would
he
have to
not
have been
see
someone
that?
who knew that he was left-handed and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by his side. Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you?
Oh,
There's not a
you
lot of people
little
who'd go to all this
bitch.
trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with. But I gave you your chance.
Oh, I'm gonna rip your
I hoped
ass.
you'd do what's good for you and
Son
back
of a
off
bitch.
like the lady, but
You're a nice guy, you little shit.
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her.
yes,
I'm gonna kick
although
your ass to
however
the curb.
stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just wouldn't drop it. Which is why you can't leave this place alive. Take them out, and make it quick.
Do your worst.
Yeah, what I have.
Germinate. Nowhere to hide. Incoming. Speed of light.
Oh boy, I ran out of shit. What the hell?
Don't blink. Cut to the chase. Scatter. Hey. Spring force. Got lucky that time. Speed of light.
That thing is freaking tanky as hell, man. What did I just did? That is so weird. Okay.
You kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking, and what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a Mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life to the art of deception and never has a Mora to show for it? The people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. All I ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he?" Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me nothing more than the life I already had.
Why did you just leave?
He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated more than that. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic, he would expose me, and it would destroy me. I had to kill him. There was no other way. He had to go.
Man. Even being good kind of bites you in the ass, doesn't it?
Was reason enough? What other motive would I need?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am.
Oh, he is.
Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted
That
that
was
his
easy.
way was the right way. That the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all over again during your trial.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. What else can I do? So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end this way, but I regret nothing.
Very well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
Oh, we are gonna tell him, right? I wanted to tell his ass that he was the guy.
At least I can finally stop looking over my shoulder now.
Lily has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Good point! We should go tell Gemma the good news right away. It'll give her some peace of mind for sure.
Oh, I'm dead.
We are all gone.
Oh shit. That ledge got me.
Ah, you're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now, but try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of
Yep.
course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I still didn't know if I could trust you, but now it seems I can. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but I...
It's okay, we understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard to trust strangers in your position too. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I've been waiting for this day to come for so long. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious, but I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't risk looking into it. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me, and then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So I never had the courage to speak out. Thank you all. Truly. Thank you so much.
I don't think she still realized who those kids were. Do they? I think he's gonna perform the magic show and show them.
Hey Navia, we're here!
Oh, what's happening with that? Oh boy.
Whoa. Check out all these people. Hey
Wait,
there,
this
are
guy
you
is
Navia's
buggy
friends
as hell.
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Marechaussee Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Invite them over?
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
Hmm.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
Something feels off. But, oh well. Let's get back to business. Is there anyone called Essan here?
Yes, that's me.
You're Essa?
Yes, yes, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Did you write that threatening letter to Kiara?
I did, but I was just following orders.
Orders from whom?
Domenico, he was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico, where is he now?
Oh, this is actually Neuville's story. It's continuing for some reason.
Well,
That's
I'm
not
afraid
from
even
Phantom
Spina would
Visible
have
at all.
trouble looking into that place.
That was so
Looks
out
like
of
you'll have
place.
to make the trip yourselves. This was as much as I could do.
You've done more than enough. I am extremely grateful for your help.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first. If he really is the one setting up the conspiracy, it'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
All right then, let's head to the fortress right now.
Lorenzo others and medical memory for Caesar. Okay. Yeah, it just freaked out and went to the Neuvillette story and then it freaked out again. What is this? Involvement in other quests. Continuing the current quest causes the part of it become occupied. Progress cannot be made on occupied quest. Continue this quest. You can choose to continue quest from the quest menu. Continue the quest. Continue the current quest, I think.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never
There
would
we
have
go.
guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got along great. And to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault. Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
In Caesar's honor? Really?
Yep, I called it. He's gonna do it.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon, don't be late.
Yep, he's still gonna do
No
it.
way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show. Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Linny and Lynette or not. Linny changed the topic back in the workshop, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up. Oh well, guess we'll just have to ask Linny tomorrow evening.
I've spoken many choice words. I'm so ashamed of myself.
I can't believe Lorenzo was intimidating Gemma all this time. He comes around here sometimes. Not to clean Caesar's grave, though. He just stands off to the side and watches Gemma from a distance. She must have known, but she never asked him to leave. I wonder why that is.
It may take some time, but Caesar's reputation will be restored now that the real culprit looks like Gemma chose a good man after all.
Yeah, my Ning Lang is dead. Piching is also dead. GG. Oh, I gotta wait. Wait till 18. Okay. Next evening? Oh, come on. Seriously? There. You happy now? It's actually cool that you can see the time change in the background. It changes the real time, which is neat. Alright, Eclipse. Epicalacy. Whatever the hell you want to call that.
I prefer magic, personally.
Ooh, Charlotte is sitting over there.
Paimon's excited to see another of Linny's magic shows! Wait. Lynette, shouldn't you be on stage by now?
Not this time. My brother's going solo today. So, I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready because the show is about to begin. The great magician Linny has prepared a spectacular show for us all tonight, concluding with an all-new grand finale that no audience has ever seen before.
Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just... It reminds me of him.
No wonder. Caesar was a famous magician too. So, how did you two first meet, Gemma?
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too. So I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head. I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
Oh, that's so cute! Actually, now that you mention it, Linny's done that one before.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like Caesar. So let's treasure the time we have with him. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be.
That's right. It's all over now. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on. You can breathe easy at last, right?
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now, Phantom Weasel.
See? Even Lynette says... Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't like this riddle. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something!
Wait, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most electrifying act of tonight's show, the one we've all been waiting for. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon. Let's talk somewhere else for now.
Charlotte is walking over there. This chick is the Phantom Weasel? No shot. She doesn't look like it at all. Not in the least bit.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood. This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now, who wants to hear a story?
Linny, don't we have more important things to address right now? Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment ago. Oh, what the heck's going on?
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really? Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's dying of curiosity here!
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a target, never left a trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day, she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
Don't even the truth. Oh my god! What?
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands
Once again. Okay, let's see. Let's continue for a bit and then I will go get my dinner.
Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought this on, Linny? Is it something that Lorenzo said?
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his confession, as if there was something else he was trying to hide.
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in on it? Why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Tell me. I wanna know.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
What?
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people? Could you shed any light on that?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we? If I had to guess, I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible childhood. Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true, and it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Now it all makes sense. Does this story satisfy you, Linny?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you trying to achieve there? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. But it seems like someone still wasn't ready to let her finally be at peace. Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House. But why?
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago? You mean Caesar's death? You met him? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been so long, and you're all grown up now. I didn't recognize you.
There it is.
He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why? Because you feel like you still owe him something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. 10 years on, and no one cares what the truth is anymore. But we did not forget, and so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has admitted to everything. I'm free.
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, we must find our own truth. I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value, fervent hopes and dreams, and irreplaceable people. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night, stealing became your way of numbing the pain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. But what did he have to gain from all that? He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know, deep down, that he is the only truth you have in your life. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods. I do hope you'll be able to bear it. You've still got a long life
Oh my
ahead of
god,
you
this
after
guy
all.
is brutal.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the
Holy
amazing
shit.
Lenny to perform his final act in tonight's show. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well, wonder no more, for the answer is a death-defying high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel. But we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crimes.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
Damn. That is such a good way to justify them.
Lenny, wait.
He just
You two
completely
hid a lot
screwed them
from
over.
Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever? You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today. Maybe then you'll finally understand.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So, what are we, doing now?
Like Lenny said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lenny after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
Alright, well, let's go and watch Lenny's finale then. This trick's a pretty dangerous one, but he should be able to pull it off, right?
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright, we're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, You can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Linny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show! This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale. It will make a great headline for the Steambird tomorrow, even if I do say so myself. Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale. Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual hunt. But, where is that? Oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Linny's way of saying goodbye to Caesar. So it makes sense that that's where he'd be afterward. Alright, let's go look for him there.
Glad that I didn't miss this storyline. It was awesome. It's not even the main quest or anything, it's just a side quest. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have teleported there.
Linny! There you are. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horribly wrong.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. So I tweaked Caesar's original setup a little to keep it fresh. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling weightless, seeing the sky and the ground spinning and spinning. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or did he believe that it was his own slip-up right until the end?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop. You learned magic from Caesar once, didn't you? When was that?
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him. I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performers. I'd watch their tricks and try to figure out how they were done. But I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance, but the rigorous training they put in behind the scenes remained invisible to me. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and make niftier props. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a professional magician, we quickly plateaued.
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise that he was so willing to teach us. In all, we only spent 10
I
short
don't
days
think that's an
together, but
agenda,
he was
dude,
very
at
good
all,
to us.
dude.
By contrast, we hid so many things from him. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, I answered, "It's my passion." But in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then betrayed soon after, this was no longer about me doing what I loved. What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating over whether to tell him the truth. Trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly, I'd forgotten how to trust by then.
Lenny.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a gentle soul, aren't you? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, lies and selfishness have followed me and Lynette everywhere we go. After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death, and was now declared to be the Phantom Weasel. That night, I remembered his smile. But as I lay there, I didn't know what to say to him. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. But I guess that's the price we have to pay. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma. Because I felt it for myself.
Yeah, cheer up, Lenny. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey, too. But whatever happens, Paimon always believes in what tomorrow brings. Delicious food, fun toys, and the traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to focus on things like this, and all the unhappy stuff goes right out the window. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kind of make you Paimon's truth?
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest thing each other has in the world, and nothing can replace that. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's what gave us the strength to get through the darkest days. That's why the darkness never consumed me, and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we remember every precious ray of light that shines through. Alright, time to lighten this conversation up a little. What did you think of the show tonight? Were you happy with it?
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. We spent most of our time in the Opera House just talking and pretty much missed the entire first half of the show. Lenny, could you do just one more trick for us?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decidedly card-free right now.
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something. The Lenny Paimon knows can do anything if he puts his mind to it.
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go, but only because it's you. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going along with this!
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me. Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere else.
Really? Let's see.
Oh. Yeah, basically I have a flower garden on my head. That kind of makes sense.
This one's called, oh yeah, a rainbow rose. But more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done. Please, Linny, please.
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by addressing me as teacher.
Fine. Please, teacher, please.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot solely rely on others being prepared to reveal their secrets. You have to observe, think, and find the answers for yourself.
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again
That's
for
just
coming
an
to see my
elaborate way
show.
to say fuck
I
off.
bid you both good night. I look forward to seeing you
GG.
again.
All right, fine. See ya. Shall we head back now too? Oh, Paimon can't wait to read The Steambird tomorrow. Paimon bets Linny and Caesar will be plastered all over it. Let's head to the Steambird's offices tomorrow morning and see what we can find out.
Alright. I'm gonna go get some food. So I will be okay for a bit. See you guys in a bit.
We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it doesn't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and whether you take on the challenge is entirely up to you. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it doesn't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and whether you take on the challenge is entirely up to you. My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it doesn't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and whether you take on the challenge is entirely up to you. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss. My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it doesn't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and whether you take on the challenge is entirely up to you. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss.
All right.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Lenny, I'll only take a moment of your time, if you would be so kind.
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was going to go to print this morning. But just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the guards and confessed to having been the real Phantom Weasel all along.
Oh.
That was quick.
Hmm?
Too late, bro.
That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Please, fill me in.
Whoops.
Okay.
My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma turning herself in must have something to do with Lenny's performance last night.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the voice of her conscience.
Huh. Okay, then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole years?
Well...
Yep. Somebody's got caught.
Oh, I remember now. You and Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. What happened between you? Quickfire question. Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Lenny did a private magic trick just for us. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon, guess what? Lenny started using rainbow roses in his tricks.
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your
Oh
own
boy,
sister?
somebody is jealous.
No, I just,
Yeah, that it is.
Oh, did Paimon say something wrong again? This is getting pretty awkward. What do we do, Traveler?
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never mind. There's always next time. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. The news about Gemma has already made waves, and I'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it all. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. Ah, there's clearly a web of complicated relationships there. Can't blame me for being curious. All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Lynette? Paimon didn't mean to.
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Oh, really? Oh, thank goodness. You scared Paimon there.
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both. At least it did the job, right?
He is scared out of his
Take good care of
mind.
that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
It's only interpreter, you don't have to worry about that. Alright, let's continue the actual story now. That was quite a good sidetrack. Even though it's sidetracked us pretty hard, I enjoyed that story. Okay, that makes sense.
Welcome to the Fortress of Meripede, dear esteemed guests.
We're back! Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself! Guess we made a name for ourselves at this place.
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief Justice, showed up. Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase. I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to round up the other inmates and instigate a protest.
Who does this guy think he is? Paimon hopes nothing came of it.
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. And now he's threatening Melazines, is he? To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag. Is there something else going on behind the scenes here?
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and have my questions answered.
That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he's at...
Oh, did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened? Sigewine! Yeah, and we're investigating. The person who threatened her seems to be imprisoned here. Really? Is Kiara gonna be okay?
There's no need to worry.
Okay, this one is amazing too, but it looks human.
Well, that's great.
That's so weird.
If the criminal's still... Is there anything you can do about this?
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me to personally deal with the criminal?
Writhsley.
Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you. That's your only demand, correct?
His badge is
Think
awesome.
of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not to formally transfer a criminal for trial. I urge you to set aside any concerns. Thanks for the trouble. consider me in your debt.
Whoa! If Paimon were the Duke, Paimon would take this chance to ask for something really important.
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Neuvillette would reject that. But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Please come with me to the infirmary. Ah, and watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas, so make sure you don't trip over anything.
Where this thing even leads me to? Okay, okay.
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh? I'm Oriole, a member of the Mutual Aid Network.
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would anyone like anything to drink? Paimon's not that thirsty, but thanks anyway. Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about. Typical Sejuin. Concerned about everyone's health as always. Why aren't you two saying anything?
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on their chests looked quite familiar.
Familiar? Paimon didn't even realize they were wearing them. But if both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
That's not a bad idea. I will stay here and wait for news from you.
Yeah, most of the people here was sent by this guy, so I don't think it's a good idea. Not most of them, all of them. GG.
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
What's that?
We have a very long history, going back as far as 400 years ago. We have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation, but everyone treats each other like family. Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time, we seek to maintain just dealings as much as possible.
Sounds like a pretty neat
Thank you for the bid. Rita. Thank you, thank you.
All we want is to defend ourselves.
Nice, nice.
None of us have ever committed serious crimes, and we're not especially powerful either. We're at a natural disadvantage here in the fortress. But people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
Thank you, thank you.
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network? If you'd like to learn more, here's our flyer. Our slogan may have evolved over the centuries, but our goal has remained unchanged. Here, this book is for you. You're welcome to come and sign up anytime.
You two look kind of familiar. It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network designed by our first president. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for myself, though. The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, he never used his strength against anyone. He encouraged the weaker criminals to stick together and look out for each other. All of us have a lot of respect for him.
We should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk to Neuvillette.
Is that the guy never sent him to the gulag? I think so. Whoops. That way?
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges belong to an organization called the Mutual Aid Network. According to them, the badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace. Have you seen any of those before?
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol and Vautrin. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Oh! So the network was inspired by... Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office. He's found Domenico.
All right. Let us talk to him first and get to the bottom of this situation.
Oh, do you guys know this guy is a dragon, but he actually born as a human? Like his form, he cannot revert into the dragon form at all. He's kind of stuck on that one. Which is interesting because Divine, the Winged Dragon, is basically a dragon, right? This guy is just a dude with 2 legs. Which makes no sense. We don't know why yet. Maybe it will be shown later? Yeah?
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman, Domenico. Why don't you explain everything to him?
Neuvillette? What do you want? What are you gonna do? Kill me?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few questions. Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any need to keep hiding.
Oh, that idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct?
Yes.
Who is pulling your strings?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine has been personally investigating your case. I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth. But before that, you must ensure my safety.
I can do that.
You see, we're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and I was put on trial. But I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melusines? Over that?
My initial target was Neuvillette. Everyone in the Fortress of Meripede was declared guilty by him, after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against him, right? If I could get them to strike back. But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That
mutual aid network in particular. What did those nobodies even gain from trying to challenge me? Seriously. In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melazines to salvage things. I recall that Kiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection, so I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to contact my family. But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Kiara and force it to resign from the Marechaussee Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it
Well,
true
that
that
was
all
easy.
members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
Sijween, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melazines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared for any possibility.
And how long ago was this incident?
400 years?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this.
Yep. The immediate
Time can
response
change
was
a lot
don't
of
overthink
things.
it.
Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melazines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing. I trust that they would make different choices from before.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melazines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you. When people refused to place their trust in Melazines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar Chief Justice. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you and even consider you a symbol of the law. Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually transformed the whole nation.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duties. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for answers through my judgments. It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard. The complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine. As a matter of fact, I believe that you are the ones who deserve my respect.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs says it all. You're no longer that outsider you were before. Even if you wished to investigate something on your own, many would take the initiative to lend you a hand.
I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Now that the case has been settled, I should get going.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say.
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
I know of what you speak. The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Mermonia staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business. Therefore, I leave that matter in your hands.
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you investigated the mutual aid network. Is that right?
Yep. Neuvillette thought their badges looked familiar.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the Fortress of Meripede. They were not great in number, but every member always made sure to stand up for what was right. I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fortress. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. He had never once engaged in physical or verbal aggression. In other words, how he presented himself in prison was very different from his behavior in court.
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had every right to feel that way.
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one. That's all from me. Does anyone else have anything to say? Now's your chance.
I don't have anything to say, apart from expressing my gratitude, that is. Well then, let us head back. No need to see us off.
Please, take care.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Risley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
What?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on Fontaine. What do you think, Traveler? Hey, any comments?
What I really think is, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
Hmm.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person. These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself. I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Oh, huh? It's raining! Oh no, Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning?
Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Neuvillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
Is the matter resolved?
Yep, we found the person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melusines should be safe now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sorry for dragging you all into this.
There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our own accord.
By the way, where's Kiara?
At the Palais Marmonia, more than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to look out for danger. I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy, so I asked her to stay inside the Palais. It's very safe in there.
What a relief.
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled. To celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur Neuvillette, would you be interested in an exclusive interview?
Of course.
That's not how you celebrate.
I will consider it.
Really?
Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should be available next month. Come
Next
up with
month?
questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes! Thank you so much, Monsieur!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize our investigation results. I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
Oh, an exclusive interview! Am I dreaming? What should I ask him? Don't let anything hold you back. Make the most of this opportunity and ask away.
I agree. He'll decline any question he can't answer anyway, so you might as well give all of them a shot.
interview. Am I dreaming?
Don't let
Wait,
anything.
I agree.
it basically says the same thing. Uh-oh.
Oh, an exclusive.
Don't let
Yeah.
anything.
I agree.
Usually they all have only one dialogue.
Kiara?
Monsieur Neuvillette? Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep.
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of that threatening letter. You're safe now.
Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really safe.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the sender of that letter.
Let me think. I can't remember. My memory isn't that good, so I easily forget things.
I can
By the
relate.
way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. Where's she gone, by the way? I haven't seen her in a long time. In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, "Kiara, our dreams have finally come true." I can't remember what our dreams were anymore, and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too? Oh, I almost forgot. Am I allowed to go out now? I promised to model for Alov.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur, Traveler, and Big Sis Paimon.
See you next time.
Another amazing one. Damn. These guys know how to tell a story. Jesus. Well, I think I can do that tomorrow. We've been streaming for a while now, so I'm just gonna hop off and relax. Thank you for dropping by, and did I unlock all of them or? Oh, okay. And thank you for the bits also. And I will relax soon. I'm gonna check out some of the things here. Is there anything I can do? Let's take it out. Any more archons? Oh. It was washing Raptors. This is hot. Oh, these are all 2 story quests I just unlocked. Okay. Oh, thank you for the 10 more bit. Thank you, thank you. It was pretty good. Should I pull for... I don't know. Farina, it's not that good of a chance. I need a DPS. Like a really good DPS. Maybe Ayaka or... if Chino comes out, I can pull for her. Yeah, I have Kole at level 6. GG. Baidu is okay, but he's... I think this guy is a sub DPS. And Farina is a support. I don't want to deal with... I don't need a support. My DPS is the lacking part. Hmm.
I created another universe and founded paradise. For I, Fischl, and the Prinzessin de
Yeah. This one, it's super obvious that she is just a CDPO. This is basically Farina. I mean, Farina is basically official, but worse. That's how I think.
I created another universe and founded paradise. For I, Fischl, and the Prinzessin de
You can farm for that. Maybe later? I probably need help on the freaking dungeon if I have to do it. Alright, let's see who's online. I can trade them. Ooh. Alright. I'm gonna raid someone and hop out. Thank you for dropping by and see you guys later. And today was an amazing story and amazing stream as well. Thank you and happy Diwali for everyone. I hope you guys have an awesome night or day. And I'm gonna raid and see you guys later. Bye bye. Alex is signing off.